Welcome to Jesse Waters Primetime tonight.
He raped me and he choked me, and while he was choking me, I lost consciousness and I thought I died. I would never have engaged in a consensual sexual encounter with Eric Swalwell.
Eric Swalwell, rape, and the Democrat machine.
I do think that he has serious criminal problems on his hand, and I do think that he might end up in jail.
The U.S. Navy busting the strait wide open.
They have lied, they have obfuscated, and they have murdered for 47 years. It is their actions that are going to count when they come to the negotiating table.
He views himself as the divine. This isn't only blasphemous and immoral, but this shows that Donald Trump cannot execute the high role and responsibility of the presidency.
Donald Trump, the Pope, Jesus, the Antichrist. What the heck is going on?
I wear these bracelets that say faith and charity.
Plus,
come here. Hey, you done this look at Brock?
Fox News alert, another Swalwell accuser just went public, and the allegations are graphic. Viewer warning.
I believe he drugged my drink. I only had one glass of wine. When I arrived at his hotel room, I was already incapacitated and I couldn't move my arms or my body. He raped me and he choked me. And while he was choking me, I lost consciousness. And I thought I died. I did not consent to any sexual activity.
She says the pain didn't go away.
It had a profound impact on my mental health. I self-medicated in an unhealthy way. I did not want to live anymore. I cried all the time for years. At the time, I was in a dating relationship with a boyfriend I was fully committed to. I've never cheated in my life, and I would never have engaged in a consensual sexual encounter with Eric Swalwell.
Today, she handed over what she says are damning texts and photos to the LA sheriff. That's now 5 women accusing him of rape, sexual assault, and harassment, and they want justice.
The fact that he has now dropped out of the governor's race and resigned from Congress, is that justice in your view?
No, it's just the beginning. It's just the very beginning. And I know personally that we're not walking away from this fight.
For me, justice won't be until he can't ever harm a woman ever again, and he has faced the consequences for the women that he has harmed.
I think we just prevented another 30 to 40 years potentially of him harming people if he were to stay in Congress.
One woman claims Swalwell sent her nudes she didn't ask for and says he showed up at her apartment uninvited. Says this wasn't a mistake, it was a mindset.
He thought that he was untouchable. He didn't care what he was putting out there. He thought that all of these women would stay loyal to him.
My delay in taking action against Eric was driven by fear, not doubt. Fear of his political power, his background as an attorney, and his family law enforcement ties.
Drugging, choking, rape. These are serious accusations. The Manhattan District Attorney is investigating, and we expect prosecutors in LA to do the same. Swalwell swears he's innocent and insinuates it's a setup. Kash Patel heard that and invited the congressman to sit down for an FBI interview. I doubt he'll do that. Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna told us last night her former colleague might end up in cuffs.
I do think that he has serious criminal problems on his hand, and I do think that he might end up in jail, Jesse. And if I could just share with you for a moment, not only did I receive forensic reporting showing that, you know, that infamous video of him in the hotel room was indeed him. It was not AI generated. But I'm also being told that, more stuff is going to be dropping in the next 24 hours. And then also potentially the individual that recorded that video in that hotel room, Jesse, was a female and she was underage.
Oh. Fox hasn't been able to independently confirm Swalwell was actually the guy in the video or anyone in the room was underage, but we're working on it. Democrats raised millions off Believe All Women, remember? They nuked due process in the process. And Swalwell, he led the charge.
My Republican colleagues do not trust women. You don't trust women. Do you all ever talk to women? They deserve better. Trust women, my friends. Trust women. They will get it right.
Turns out Democrats only believe women when it works for them. Everybody knew Swalwell had a zipper problem. Even his best friend in the whole world, not our words, Swalwell's, says he had a rep.
In the beginning, you said when you first heard these rumors a few weeks ago, that's when you called him. Then you said you've heard these rumors for years. So which one is it, Senator?
So I heard rumors of him being flirty.
When you first heard these rumors, should you have acted when you first heard these rumors several years ago?
The rumors I heard were that he was just a flirty social guy. That's it.
Nancy had to know. She was his mentor. Pelosi put him on the House Intel Committee and had his back after Fang Fang. She also tapped him to take down Trump on impeachment, J6 committees. Nance sponsored him. Now she says, don't look at me.
Some Republicans and others are saying that Democrats turned kind of a blind eye, that they knew what he was up to.
No, that's
or
not
what
true.
the
That is
were.
absolutely positive. And it's true that they may say that, but it is absolutely not true.
You had no idea.
None whatsoever.
Nancy knows everything. It's her job to know. She knows who's having an affair, who's having money troubles, whose kid has a drug problem. Nancy's a lot of things, but she's not ignorant. Hollywood poured over $100 grand into Swalwell's campaign. Sean Penn, Robert De Niro, Jane Fonda. Big names, big checks. Did they know Swalwell's dirty little secret? Little Eric was crashing at his big billionaire backer's pool house. Now the donor's like, Eric who?
Did you suspect this at all?
No! I was blown away.
How's your relationship with Eric? Are you guys still friends?
Eric who? Is that clear?
After the coup, everyone plays clueless. Democrats had dirt on Swalwell the whole time, but he was useful as a weapon against Trump. So they turned a blind eye to his shenanigans until he threatened their power in California. Then boom, coup. Nuked him on the eve of the primary. They fired their first shot Friday in the San Francisco Chronicle, hometown paper, make it look local. Then every endorsement got yanked. Like clockwork, victims started appearing on TV, and by Monday, he was done. The last accuser today was supposed to be the kill shot, but he was already out. Someone call 911. I'd like to report a murder. This was such a highly orchestrated, well-executed political assassination. The only way this could have been pulled off in 3 days, if the Democrat machine knew about Swalwell's skeletons for years. Reporters are running around D.C. bragging they had dirt on Swalwell this whole time. Other congressmen, staff, they're all saying, yeah, we knew. Did they dig into it? No. Did they tell him to knock it off? Doubt it. Did any of them help the women? No. They waited until the machine gave the green light and then said, yes, sir, and took him out. Same thing happened with the Biden cover-up. They knew Joe was toast, lied about it, but when Biden blew himself up at the debate, he became a liability and put all their seats in play, threatened their power. So we got whacked. Then Tapper wrote a book, and everyone was like, oh, yeah, everybody knows Joe was comatose. He fell asleep in his soup. The Democratic machine is ruthless. They survive on blackmail, cover-ups, and coups. Trump took on the Republican machine in 2016 and beat it, but the Democrat machine, still undefeated. We're not saying Swalwell's a victim. No, he loaded the gun. The party just pulled the trigger. They made Eric Swalwell cool. They put him out there like this young gun with social media game, a straight white guy without toxic masculinity. You look at Swalwell's profile, cable news hits, foreign travel, top committee spots. You'd think this guy was the coolest kid in D.C. That's what the Democrats wanted you to think. But when the first girl came forward, nobody had his back. Not one person in the media, after all those TV hits, he lived in their green rooms. Not one person in the House, not one person on his staff defended him. No, whoa, Eric's a good guy. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Nothing. No loyalty, no friends, nothing. Everybody knew. And when it was time, they knew what to do. What a nasty business. So Swalwell's finished, and the bench is thin. It's potatoes or the billionaire. But Potatoes has baggage. She's accused of burning her husband with a pot of scalding hot mashed potatoes, hence the nickname, terrorizing her staff. And you remember this?
I'm going to try to win every vote I can. And what I'm saying to you is that...
Well, to those voters, okay, so you...
I don't want to keep doing this. I'm going to call it. Okay. Thank you.
You're not going to do the interview with us?
Nope, not like this. I'm not. Not with 7 follow-ups to every single question you ask.
Every other candidate has answered.
I don't care. I don't care. I want to have a pleasant, positive conversation in which you ask me about every issue on this list. And if every question you're going to make up a follow-up question, then we're never going to get there.
Ms.
And
Porter,
we're just going to circle around.
I am an investigative
I have never had to do
reporter.
this before, ever.
You've never had to have a conversation with
to end
a
an
reporter?
interview.
Okay, but every other candidate has done this.
So I guess Democrats are going to nominate a billionaire who dances like this. A straight white billionaire with no rhythm. That is everything California stands against. Everything. So plan B. Luckily, they got plenty of California girls in the sea.
California is the fourth, it's like running a country. Yeah. And Swalwell was running to be governor, and he was the lead candidate for the Democrats. And so I'd like to see Kamala Harris maybe put her hat back in the ring for governor of Congress, governor of California.
Dana Lash is a nationally syndicated radio host. All right, so Swalwell's a moron, and he's a creep, and he might go to prison. But I don't know. I'm actually impressed at how exquisitely executed this political hit job was done by the Democratic Party. I probably shouldn't say that, but this was smooth.
You know, you're right, Jesse. That's exactly it. This is between Swalwell and the Democrat machine. And what's truly extraordinary about this is the machine stays together and they circle the wagons until they don't. He was a great attack dog for them. If you remember, we can revisit the hits. I mean, you know all of the times that he went after POTUS, right? And was accusing POTUS with the whole E. Jean Carroll stuff and every single person that they could try to scrounge up to go after POTUS. Of course, POTUS nobody ever had all these receipts in the baggage that Swalwell has. I mean, there's video, which there is not enough eye bleach. There isn't eye bleach, but if there were, there wouldn't be enough in the world to rid us of that vision. I mean, he is literally the physical manifestation of athlete's foot if it became sentient and as a person. That's who Eric Swalwell is. He's gross. But they used him effectively as an attack dog. He worked with gun control groups. He got into an argument with me and one time told me that he couldn't talk to me because I was a woman. He needed to talk to my boss. And you can imagine, Jesse, what my response was. I can't say it on your lovely network, but you can imagine what my response was to a misogynistic, progressive question like that. So we've seen Swalwell go on attack for Democrats, and he was starting to buy into the hubris of it all. Yes. He really got over his skis, and so he decided he wanted to go and be governor. That is not who Democrats wanted for governor. Now, they gave him a warning shot. They gave him a warning shot with some financial impropriety and the illegal immigrant nanny, and he still did not blink. So they had to take him out. They had to neutralize him politically off the face of the party. I mean, this guy they weren't even going to allow him to stay in Congress because he was insubordinate. And that is the sin. And I'll add this, Jesse, you are exactly 1,000% right. You cannot tell me Nancy Pelosi did not know this. I'll say this. I have met that woman in some green rooms for Sunday morning shows. And I have sometimes had my family with me. We'll take a trip to D.C. and look around at the monuments, and then we go back to Texas. She knew everything about my family. She knew my kids.
Wow. This
isn't stuff that's online. She knew this. You cannot tell me that they did not know that Eric Swalwell was engaged in this stuff. I'm not a betting person, but I would put the house on that.
Yeah, I
so
mean,
this was a perfectly executed political hit.
Yeah, Nancy is plugged in. We've seen her financial disclosure. There's no one more plugged in than what's going on than Nancy Pelosi. But, you know, it's almost like Tim Walz. Like, the Democrats package these white guys, right? These, like, normal white guys. And it's like, no, this guy puts tampons in boys' rooms. And then they put out Swalwell, and it's like, wow, he's accused of drugging women and choking them. It's like, you really have to read. You have to really just not take anything at face value in politics.
No, you can't. I mean, he's Cosbying women out there. I mean, it's Cosby 2.0. And I mean, who knows how many are going to come forward. I'm hearing that there's even more videos. So yay for autoplay video on social media. We're all going to die of cringe. But there's apparently a lot more coming out. And here's the other thing. You were right in talking about these women. I feel bad for these women, and the question that I want answered is if any Democrat told these women to be silent. Because when you listen to these women, and Jesse, you were playing some of their interviews, when you listen to them, these sound like women who were a little reticent to come forward, and you can tell that they really did not want to be in this position. You can tell it in their body language, in their tone of voice. They kind of lower their heads and their eyes from the camera, and you can tell they feel very uncomfortable. This is not like Christine Blasey Ford, right? These are women who are hurting. You can see that when they speak. So I want to know who held them back. Who told them not to go forward? Because it had to take a village to keep these women silent and keep them from seeking justice so that they could protect a predator that they were using as an attack dog for their party. That is the question that I hope people find out. And maybe these journalists who spent all this time carrying water for the party and who knew that the new bragging card, the new flex in media was going to be, well, I knew it, but I didn't report on it. I mean, nobody even has the self-awareness or self-respect to even report on this stuff. I want to know who knew and who was culpable.
Yeah, it's an ugly scene, and we're going to continue to figure out who knew what and when. Dana, thank you. A major update on America's naval blockade. Next. Fox News alert, Trump just opened the strait for business, unless you're going to Iran. In the first 24 hours of the Hormuz blockade, no ships from Iranian ports made it past our fleet. 6 merchant vessels tried, and they were turned around. If a ship doing business with Iran gets anywhere near the blockade, Navy SEALs will board it, put a gun to the captain's head, and turn it around. The Wall Street Journal reports that 20 commercial ships have passed through peacefully into the Persian Gulf. Now, when Iran controlled the strait, that number was 0. Foreign tankers are starting to sail in and out, and Iranian ships aren't allowed to come in or out. CENTCOM says we have over 12 warships, 100 fighter and surveillance aircraft, and 10,000 service members out imposing the blockade, including the USS Tripoli, our amphibious assault ship. It's currently positioned in the Arabian Sea with 3,500 sailors and Marines on board, including the 31st Expeditionary Unit. They've been doing night deck shooting drills. And our F-35 stealth fighter jets were seen taking off from the Tripoli, too, helping us maintain supremacy in the skies and the high seas. Soon coming to help, the USS Boxer. The 11th Marine Expeditionary Unit on board has been executing round-the-clock live-fire drills on the water as our armed forces prepare for the second phase of the blockade.
Clear the Straits of Hormuz. Make sure it's clear of mines. Open up other channels. We saw some of that going on this weekend. Next thing is secure it and provide escorts for the ships to come through it. And we would do that initially and then eventually transfer that to allies and partners to take that over from us.
CENTCOM's focus now is demining the strait, if there are even mines in the first place. Last week, the president called Iran's bluff, and so far, we haven't found a single mine in the water. In our toolbox, we have Seahawk helicopters, knife fish mine hunters, and knife fish drones to find any floating explosive. Navy divers are next.
We're looking at probably at least 2, 3, 4 days of searching, and then it depends whether we find something. If we find something, we'll mark it, continue searching, and then that involves using an ROV, a remotely operated vehicle robot, or possibly sending a Navy EOD diver down to go take care of that mine, which is the job that I trained for most of my entire career, and I'm insanely jealous of the guys who get to go do the deed.
The Strait was the Iranians' last card to play, and they're losing it. Our ships just went up the gut, and the mullahs didn't do a thing about it. We thought the Houthis might join the fight, but they stayed on the sidelines. Now we're squeezing Iranian heads to the wall.
We put the military pressure on Iran to degrade their capacities to menace the region, and now we're going to put an economic squeeze on them, end their oil revenues from coming out of their country. There'll be other sources of economic pressure as well, but that's the way to bring this conflict to an end.
The Iranians are in a state of fear. Without the Strait, Iran can't import or export anything. And there's not a lot of stuff that's made in Iran. Their currency is about to collapse, and they're already staring down the barrel of hyperinflation. The administration believes we're at the point where the Iranians are waving the right flag, and we're making the Chinese nervous. Their ghost fleet has been suctioning up all that cheap sanctioned Iranian oil, and now that supply's dried up. It's starting to bite, because for the first time, Xi Jinping weighed in on the war, and he called the blockade, quote, dangerous and irresponsible. That's when you know it's working. On top of that, we're backing them into a corner in their own neighborhood. The Pentagon just entered into a defense deal with Indonesia. Why does that matter? Well, 80% of China's oil imports pass through the Strait of Malacca, right off the Indonesian coast. It's the world's largest oil choke point. Second, the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. military is now securing both. And on top of that, we have the Suez and the Panama Canal. If Xi calls the gay Ayatollah and tells him to beg for mercy, he'll beg for mercy. Beijing knows when it's over. Iran can't lose its sugar daddy, and China is not going to watch its favorite gas station go bankrupt. The Chi-Coms already lost one proxy, Venezuela. They can't lose two in the same year. Speaking of proxies, Iran's about to lose Hezbollah. Rubio's cutting a deal in Lebanon.
This is about bringing a permanent end to 20 or 30 years of Hezbollah's influence in this part of the world. This will take time, but we believe it is worth this endeavor, and it's a historic gathering that we hope to build on.
This 6-week excursion is turning into a powerful display of American military will. The commander-in-chief's committed to the mission's objectives, and the Pentagon, the War Department, is executing the strategy decisively. Smart money continues to love the blockade. Oil futures just closed in the mid-80s, and the market just clawed back all of its losses from the beginning of the Iran war. And Trump says over the next 2 days, we could have round 2 of peace talks. Vance says there's a very good offer on the table.
If you guys commit to not having a nuclear weapon, we are going to make Iran thrive. We're going to make it economically prosperous, and we're going to invite the Iranian people into the world economy in a way they haven't been in my entire life. And that's the kind of Trumpian grand bargain that the president has put on the table. Man, we're going to keep on negotiating and try to make it happen, because it would be great for the world. It'd be great for our country. It'd be great for everybody.
It's a great offer. Hand over the uranium, chillax on the missiles, and the West will invest. And we can have peace in the Middle East. But the Iranian delegation doesn't have the power to approve the deal. Vance told Fox the ministers have to fly back to the bunkers and ask the Iranian generals if it's okay. Who knows what they're going to say? They're just a bunch of fanatics. And if that's the case, we can always go back to bridge and power plant day.
It's chess, but it's also a long-range game as well, because at the end of the day, the Iranian regime needs to be brought to its knees and realize that it cannot be trusted. This is no longer about trust and verify. This is about they have lied, they have obfuscated, and they have murdered for 47 years. It is their actions that are going to count when they come to the negotiating table.
Stephen Miller, Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy and Homeland Security Advisor. Miller, they said the president had no plan to secure the Strait, and looks like it's going pretty well.
Never listen to a panickin, Jesse. You will do very well in life. Ignore the panickins, right? They were the ones who warned of calamity in Venezuela, and it ended up being one of the greatest single foreign policy, military, geopolitical maneuvers in world history. What you're watching now in Iran with the implementation of this blockade is the total resetting of the American power dynamic for the next 100 years. President Trump is saying, we, the United States, have the world's not just most powerful military, most powerful Navy. And whoever controls the seas is able to control the outcomes in any foreign policy showdown. And so President Trump has put Iran in a box. He's played the checkmate move. And so now, no matter what path Iran chooses, America wins. If Iran chooses the path of a deal, then that's great for the world. That's great for everybody. If Iran chooses the path of economic strangulation by blockade, then the world will pass Iran by. New energy routes will be established. New supply chains will be established. Other nations throughout the region, throughout the world, and especially America, will power the world, and Iran will become a footnote. So that's the choice Iran has, and President Trump has put America into a win-win posture.
You know, they accuse the president of having no strategy. He's just kind of flying by the seat of his pants. You look at Venezuela. You look at drill, baby, drill. You look what's happening with Iran and the Strait, and now China, Indonesia, the deals we've cut with the Japanese and the South Koreans. It does look like there's a strategy to counter the Chinese and make America energy dominant. Why don't they accept that? If I can see it, well, they should be able to see it too.
Because it's a total discrediting, Jesse, of the corrupt politicians and corrupt systems that brought America to its knees. Our wealth, our treasure, our power has been bled from us for 50 years. We won World War II, and then we decided that we were going to get rid of the Department of War, we were going to get the Department of Defense, and we were going to have a politically correct foreign policy. And we sent away our jobs, we sent away our wealth, we sent away our industry, and we gave other countries a chance to compete against us. President Trump has used trade policy, energy policy, manufacturing policy, and yes, hard military power to ensure another century of American dominance. And what's important for your viewers to understand is our quality of life that we have in America is purchased by American strength. The reason why our GDP per capita blows every other nation out of the water is because of American strength. That's why we're able to enjoy the life that we enjoy. But it was threatened as never before until President Trump said, we are going to be a proud, powerful, mighty nation again. And that's what you're seeing right now play out in the Middle East, Jesse.
All right. Now, while we have you here, has the president said anything about Swalwell? I don't know if he said anything. Has he been following that?
Why? Has he had a bad week, Jesse? I haven't been watching.
You might be busy with bigger matters of war and peace.
Couldn't have happened to a better person. But look, here's the most important thing if we have 10 seconds on this, and I'm sure you would agree with this. The most important part about this story, and look, Swalwell is a scumbag. He is a terrible person, the worst of the worst, the lowest of the low, the most dishonest of the most dishonest. But the real story here is how the Democrat Party controls its members through blackmail. It's got a blackmail file on all of its politicians, and it uses them to leverage and control them until it's time to release it. That is how sick and twisted the Democrat Party is. That's the next thread we've got to pull out here, Jesse.
All right. It's a dangerous business. We'll see how it shakes out. Stephen Miller, great to talk to you as always. Thank you. A big brouhaha involving Trump, the Pope, and Jesus. Everybody's rushing to the pews for Trump and the Pope, who apparently are going at it over the Iran excursion. The Pope's against the war, no surprise, all popes are anti-war, but Trump wasn't having it. He fired back. Quote, Leo should get his act together as Pope, use common sense, stop catering to the radical left. And now the media is declaring it a holy war.
We are witnessing something truly extraordinary with this unprecedented public clash between the President of the United States and the Pope. Today, Pope Leo XIV said that he has no fear after President Trump attacked him publicly. In fact, Pope Leo said he's going to continue to speak out loudly against the war.
The beef started after Obama's right-hand man, David Axelrod, paid the Pope a little visit, probably for confession. They're two Chicago guys. We don't know what they talked about, but a week after he left, the Pope started taking shots at Trump. Then 60 Minutes rolled out the Cardinals. Watch.
Under Catholic teaching, this is not a just war. Catholic faith teaches us there are certain prerequisites for a just war. You can't go for a variety of different aims. You have to have a focus aim, which is to restore justice and restore peace.
Then Trump posted this AI picture. Everybody started going nuts. They say Trump's making himself Jesus. That's not what 47 saw.
I did post it, and I thought it was me as a doctor, and it had to do with Red Cross as a Red Cross worker there, which we support.
Trump took the post down. But just like that, Democrats found God. Producers were rushing to book priests like it was Christmas Eve. Overnight, CNN turned into the Catholic News Network.
It's particularly disturbing because for us, the person of Jesus Christ is sacred.
In this case, he is taking on not just the mantle of Jesus' teachings, he's identifying with Jesus in a particularly alarming way.
That's him depicting himself as Jesus Christ. That is blasphemy in its purest form.
Blasphemy against the Holy Spirit, certainly blasphemy against Jesus.
Maybe the press is born again. They've been waging war on religion for years. They were just singing Don Lemon's praises for storming into a church, attacking Amy Coney Barrett for being a devout Catholic, warning about Christian nationalism. No problem calling Obama the Messiah, putting a halo on him. Big Gretch mocked communion, remember? Nobody said a word. Biden celebrated Trans Day of Visibility on Easter. Where was the left? Probably gave up complaining for Lent. When you want a religious exemption for a COVID shot, well, you might just be Hitler. But Hitler's not as bad as Trump, apparently. A Vatican expert said this: not even Hitler or Mussolini attacks the Pope so directly and publicly. We've been wondering what's worse than Hitler, and we just found out. The Antichrist.
So he's broken 8 of the 10 commandments. This guy, in my opinion, is the Antichrist. So no wonder he doesn't like the Pope.
Clay Travis, the founder of Outkick. We always thought Clay was the Antichrist, but I guess it's 47.
I know. Look, the Antichrist is evidently the guy who's trying to free huge numbers, 90 million Iranians, from a government that will kill tens of thousands of them, from daring to march in the streets and say, can we have basic human rights? I got to be honest with you, Jesse, I didn't think they were going to go from Hitler to the Antichrist, but I guess that's what we got. And I think it is interesting that no matter what Trump does, be it good, be it bad, people lose their minds on the left. I was talking about it on my radio show this morning, Jesse. Think about it. We have an all-time record high in the S&P 500, basically, nearly an all-time record high in the Dow. We have the lowest murder rate in the history of the United States, dating back to at least 1900, maybe ever. Washington, D.C. is safer than it's ever been. Memphis, which was the murder capital of America not too long ago, is getting safer than it's ever been before. And so what do they decide is a major issue? Trump disagreeing with the Pope. I got to be honest with you, it is a good headline, and everybody's suffering when it comes to website traffic. So my bet is Trump and the Pope in the same headline probably pays off pretty well.
I mean, people are now forced to choose. Are you going to choose Pope or Trump? And people, sometimes people are choosing Trump. Sometimes Catholics are like, yeah, I'm going to go with Trump.
I will say what we really need is the Pope to weigh in on Eric Swalwell, because I got to give credit to Fox News. They carried the press conference live. MSNBC and CNN did it. I think CNN basically was campaigning for the Nobel Prize for Eric Swalwell for the last decade. So all of Trump's critics are going up in smoke. I wouldn't want to be on the opposite side of him right now.
Yeah, wait till the Democrats find out what the Pope thinks about abortion. Whew. That'll be news. Clay, good to see you.
That'll be interesting for sure.
Thank you.
Yes.
When should police retire? I think we just found out. Up next. Water's cooler. Let's bring in Fox News host Julie Banderas. All right, Julie, you ready?
Yes, I am.
Here we go. First up, a new report says Joe never wanted Kamala to be his VP. He had Whitmer fever. But after Black Lives Matter protested, AutoPen caved and went full DEI. Speaking of Biden and blacks, Joe and Obama reunited today. Watch.
I always want to turn around to one guy and say, Barack, what are you doing? Come here. Come here. I feel like he should be standing to the right and I should be standing to the left. Hey, you just look at Barack? Anyway.
All these years out of the spotlight, it's good to know Joe hasn't changed.
You know, I got married in Scandinavian after my first year in law school.
I have no idea what he just said.
Oh, my God.
I do know that he called that black guy Barack.
God.
He's just joking, right?
No, he thought it was Barack. Or he thinks all black men are named Barack.
No, he was just messing around.
You think so?
I mean, did the guy look like a little...
No.
It's hard to see.
No.
Not at all?
There's no, like, Ben, you know, who did he think? Like, who are the two black men that he knew?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not doing well. So, but he got bullied by Black Lives Matter into picking Kamala.
Okay, first of all, this reminds me of, like, you know, you're getting set up on a blind date, and then he has a couple girls to choose from, but he doesn't choose you. And then you find out the girl that he really did choose was a really bad choice and makes you look awful. So I guess I would feel better if I was her, knowing that I got passed up for Kamala because of one reason and one reason only. It wasn't because she was the better choice. It was just that she was black.
And Biden's afraid of black people.
Yeah, apparently.
If they light something on fire, he'll do whatever you want.
I'm surprised he didn't just call him Kamala. I mean, at this point, I mean, honestly, does he know the difference between men and women?
We're just happy he's doing okay.
Yes.
God bless him. Julie, next up, we have the president might have just found a cure for cancer. Watch.
So hit the red button, and then comes the diet soda pops, which is, your dad argues that diet soda is good for him because it kills grass. It's poured on grass, so therefore it must kill cancer cells inside the body. So he'll try, please. I'm not going to argue this right now.
It's the scientific method, Julie.
I love that.
If Diet Coke kills grass, it kills cancer.
Yeah, I mean, I think that most Democrats are probably going to take him seriously and now think that he thinks that he's a doctor and he's just cured cancer with Diet Coke.
Like inject bleach.
Yeah.
Trump says Diet Coke will kill cancer.
You know that people are going to run with this. Obviously, Donald Trump Jr. is there laughing, so let's just nip it in the bud. He wasn't serious. He doesn't actually think he has the cure for cancer.
But he has been drinking a lot of diet soda and eating a lot of McDonald's, and he seems healthy.
First of all, he's not drinking Diet Coke to be on a diet if he's having McDonald's. Let me just be very clear. As a former Diet Coke drinker, I just happen to like the taste of Diet Coke over regular Coke with my McDonald's or popcorn at the movie.
Are we getting Mexican Coke? The stuff with the cane sugar?
I think we should, actually. My kids
I thought we were doing that.
I like that taste. Yes, we're supposed to. RFK Jr. said that was coming.
Come on, RFK Jr.
Let's get it.
Let's get some real sugar in that.
And I like it in the glass
Coke.
bottles. More drinks should be served in glass versus plastic or metal.
Classy. And a man should never drink out of a bottle. He should always drink out of a glass.
Is that really your philosophy, or are you just
I learned
saying that
it, and now I'm just repeating it.
Oh, so
this
you were
is a lot of my job. I hear
Okay.
things and I say it.
Okay, but no pinky up.
No pinky up. Well, I've been known to, but I have a strict record of heterosexuality.
I see nothing wrong with the pinky up for a straight male. So
Okay.
you're clear with me.
Good. Julie gave
You're
me
welcome.
the man card back. And
You're
finally,
welcome.
a cop tried to arrest a guy in Cincinnati, but the suspect, how should we say this, slipped away. And then they engaged in, I don't know what you'd call this. I think we should call it a slow speed chase.
No!
Would you call that a foot pursuit? What would you call? What would you call that?
No. Okay, look, I feel bad for the cop. Maybe his feet were asleep. Maybe he was crossing his legs for a really long time.
He was sitting like Gavin
Haven't you had
Newsom
that
in the
happen?
squad car.
You know, where the circulation just cuts off from the waist down,
Right.
especially after 40. But can I just say one thing?
Yes.
I believe the reason he got away, even though I think the cop definitely could have been a little bit more aggressive, is because if a cop is too aggressive, then guess what? You know, the police come out, like the social police come out and say, no, you were too aggressive. You can't do your job as a cop.
Right, I liked how
He
you
could have tased him. I'm sorry, he could have tased
Wait,
him.
was he
could have
trying to
gotten that
tase
guy
him when
down.
he was running away?
It doesn't appear so.
Was
although
that a taser? Oh, no, he was just trying to tackle
You do have
him.
to get a little closer to tase somebody. But at that speed, I mean...
You know what this is like? This is like when I play tag with my kids.
Yes.
And I just
and you
run circles
purposely
around
let them catch you?
Right. Yeah,
And you're running really slow?
The point of the story is that sometimes you got to know when to hang it up. And
Okay.
This guy, I think it's maybe go back to the desk because we got to catch these bad guys.
Yeah.
We got to catch them.
Yeah.
And if you can't catch them, you can't be a cop. We love cops.
No, we do. Ones that run.
Ones that run a little
Yes.
faster than that. More prime time straight ahead. I'm in love with my tech team at home. I'm not even going to say who they are because people are going to be jealous and they're going to call them, so I'm not even going to say their names. But I love them. Thank you, guys. I'm Waters. This is my world.